does the name sound so familiar?
Frag mich. Politik. Ah.
I'm guessing he's a man of some importance. Spanish, I'd say. But just can't put a face to him. Well, hope we meet to talk about it soon, Mother. I don't know what you've gotten yourself into this time, but I'll bet you've got a lot to tell me.
Kann ich noch die anderen Briefe schauen?
Let's see what's hidden inside. Let's look. A letter written in an Oriental language. I haven't the slightest idea what it says. It's too badly written, I can't make out the address. The address is 50 Bedford Square, London. The addressee's in Sao Paulo, Brazil. That reminds me, it's about time the order sent some envoys there. Probably a Dutchman.
Hoven. Van Hoven.
This envelope is meant for the Vatican. This name sounds familiar. Plausch. No, can't seem to place it. An address in Cairo, Egypt. Mortimer communicates with the whole world, apparently.
Okay, dann werden wir jetzt noch die Bretter aufmachen. Was ist hier?
This chest might belong to Duchess Hillsborough. Looks like the barrel's been broken for quite some time.
Schauen wir doch mal, was da drunter ist. Rostige Eisenstange benutzen.
That does it. Let's see what's hidden inside. There's a book and also a bag. The Mysterium Cosmographicum. I know that book well. Mother used to read passages from it to me all the time. And judging from what I can see, it's the same one as hers.
Was steht dran?
For crying out loud, what's happened to you, Mother?
Manuskripte. Mit Manuskripten kannst du dich während deines Abenteuers weiterbilden. Zu Beginn jedes Kapitels legst du fest, welches Manuskript du lesen willst und erhältst dafür permanente Fertigkeitenpunkte. Interessant.
Let's look inside the bag. A little food, a few toiletries, a small key, and some kind of black powder. Some fruit, a piece of bacon, and some bread. The fruit's still firm. Bread's a bit stale. From the smell, this food's been here roughly 2 days. And if it's rationed, there's enough left to last 2 more days. Shit! Those are definitely my mother's things. I recognize her hairpins. This bag smells of her perfume. A piece of soap, some oils, and her powder puff. But what does all this mean?
Das ist ein creepy Blick.
An iron key completely rusted. You never know. It might be useful. I hope Mother wasn't counting on it.
Okay, das Pulver.
The bottom of the bag is covered in black powder. Right. Just in case, I'll take it all. I'll give it back to Mother when I see her.
Verdammt große Taschen.
Crying out loud. Why did you hide supplies in the middle of nowhere, Mother? I don't know what's going on here, but you obviously feel like you're in danger.
Kann ich auch aufbrechen? Ah.
There we are.
Was finden wir hier?
This looks like a pistol case, but it's empty. I
Wahrscheinlich
don't know
der
if
aus
this
der
has anything
Vision.
to do with you, Mother, but if it does, at least now you're armed. Just like in my vision. And none of it's telling me anything useful.
Ach, Gelee Royal, das hat mir wieder genug für...
This wharf is used as storage for a lot of barrels. Uh-huh. What have we here? It's cannon powder.
Wissenschaft haben wir nicht, schade.
It's unusable now. I don't know what the person who left this barrel like this had in mind, but it's a waste. So, let's go through this. My mother's been hiding pieces of bread between the rotten boards of the wharf in the middle of the night. That's not normal. And if that weren't enough, looks now like she's armed. Meanwhile, she also takes the time to send out letters, reassuring whoever might be interested that she's having a fabulous time here. So odd. So very odd. And that's not even all I've noticed. But maybe I ought to move on to the manor now. They'll be waiting for me. At least I hope so.
Yay! Moment, was ist hier? Gelee Royal. Gelee. Oh, sieht schon hammer aus.
How did Mortimer manage to build his manor at the top of a rocky outcrop?
Echt schick gemacht. Sind das Illuminaten oder Crime Lords oder ist es die Kirche? Die Templer? Zeus?
Impressive.
Ah, my son, I was looking for you.
What can I do for you, Your Eminence?
I wanted to ask you. You are the son of Sara de Riche, aren't you?
Der Riech.
You see, your mother and I were supposed to meet here on this very spot. I was supposed to hand her a very important envelope. But I haven't seen her.
If only Mother had told me why she was coming here. Anyway, I ought to take the envelope. It might have something to do with her disappearance. Listen, if it will help, you can always give it to me.
Konfrontationen. Während einer Konfrontation musst du durch mehrere Phasen gehen und dabei so überzeugend wie möglich bleiben. Konfrontationen wirken sich auf den Verlauf der Geschichte aus. Da solltest du bei Bedarf auch deine Fertigkeiten einsetzen. Okay.
Thank you, my son. I'll bear that in mind. I'd rather deal with her directly. Don't take it personally. Would you happen to know if your mother has arrived yet?
Das wird nicht ankommen.
Certainly, Your Eminence. Mother got here some time ago. I was hoping to find her when I arrived, but given the hour, she must be asleep by now.
Right. I shall see her tomorrow then.
By the way, Your Eminence, I wasn't aware you knew my mother.
Ah, if you only knew, my son. I hold your mother in the highest regard. She has rendered great service to the church, and her help is invaluable. I hope that you will follow in her footsteps.
If only she had told me where she was headed.
Nonetheless, our exchanges have always been discreet, and I should like them to remain as such. If your mother wishes to speak to you about us one day, I will not mind if she does so.
That is very commendable. But since we work together on a daily basis, it's surely just an oversight.
Most certainly. You said you work together. What do you do exactly?
Nee, Berufsgeheimnis.
If you know my mother, you will understand that I cannot answer you, Your Eminence. I'm sorry, but...
Do not worry, my son. I perfectly understand, and I expected nothing less from you. Discretion and secrecy are both pillars of the organizations for which we work. You are the worthy son of Sarah.
All the same, it bothers me to see you in a quandary, Your Eminence. Is there any other solution? Look, if it's of any help, you can always leave your envelope with me, and I'll give it to her as soon as I see her.
I hesitate. Up till now, we have always dealt with her in person, and that has always been successful. Do you think I should give it to you?
Ja.
I congratulate you to answer the question. There is some truth to what you say.
Versuch mal so.
Don't worry, Your Eminence. Your secret is safe with me. You know my mother's reputation. As her son, I will defend the de Richet's word with the same fervor.
I would expect nothing less. Listen to me, my child. If I give you the letter, can you promise me before God that no one other than your mother will read it?
Letzte Phase. In der letzten Phase einer Konfrontation musst du die Person, mit der du redest, überzeugen. Du dir die passende Dialogoption auswählst. Wenn du dich falsch entscheidest, wird die Phase so lange wiederholt, bis du die richtige Option wählst oder keine Fehler mehr möglich sind, okay?
I swear by the Almighty God to honor the promise that no one but my mother shall cast her gaze upon your letter.
Good. Listen, let's stop there. I'm going to tell you a secret, Monsieur de Ricci. Your mother and I are organizing the escape of a large number of French priests who face a massacre organized by the accursed Republican tribunals. The church is literally being bled like a beast. Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine. She has made the services of your order available to us by organizing the priests' safe passage across the borders. Even if she does not share all our convictions, she always provided assistance. Young man, you can be proud to be her son. Be it only for her sake. Always respect your name. Here, the letter I spoke of. It includes a list of about 15 names ready for departure. Be quick. Remember to tell Sarah when you see her that time is short.
Well played. I'll decide later when I'm alone whether to look at what it contains.
Oh, stellt mich nicht vor die Wahl. Viele Hinweise und Gegenstände sind nicht sofort ersichtlich. Manche von ihnen wirken sich auf dein Abenteuer aus. Deswegen solltest du stets die eine Augen offen halten.
Blind Oedipus. Blinded himself. What a tragic destiny.
Erdsternchen. Versetzt dich in den Zustand sensibilisiert. Du kannst vorübergehend die Immunitäten und Schwächen erkennen, die sich auf deine Dialoge auswirken. Du kannst nicht mehr als 5 bei dir tragen. Ich glaube, ich nehme sicherheitshalber mal Gelee Royal. 1. Okay.
Fall of the Damned by Rubens. The man who cannot achieve the salvation of God the Father is offered to fall into the depths of the abyss.
Okay, zurück zur Gruppe. Okay, da darf ich noch nicht lang.
Crucifixion of St. Peter. He was crucified upside down, out of humility. Surprising for an entrance hall. Saturn devouring his son. Good God, how awful. Everything in this painting is disturbing. It's the first time I've seen brushstrokes like this. Lives of the Noble Greeks and Romans by Plutarch, a biography of the great men.
It's too late now.
Das wird schon nicht vermisst werden.
I thought my chimney was big, but this one is beyond belief.
It's the least one can say. I've been longing for a warm fire for ages.
Since I set foot on the island, I haven't ventured more than 2 yards away from it.
Have you also just arrived?
Oh, late morning, I'd say.
Louis, come join us. Monsieur, may I introduce you to Monseigneur His Eminence, Cardinal Piaggi. He joins us straight from Rome.
Oh, just call me Your Eminence. It's simpler.
George Washington, President of the United States of America.
Delighted at last to make your acquaintance, Mr. President.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. President. Louis Moras de Richer. It is an honor to meet you.
Young man, let's keep it simple, please. Let us forget our fancy titles. Nice to meet you, Louis.
I should imagine you never thought you'd be in such company.
I must admit that I didn't. It's the first time that I've ever met so many illustrious personalities.
And you haven't seen anything yet. Generally, when Lord Mortimer organizes one of his receptions, there are over a dozen people here.
They can't all be here yet, and you'll see, most of the time there's only the upper crust.
And I noticed you were already getting to know His Eminence at the entrance. It's the perfect place to build up a network. What were you talking about, if you forgive my indiscretion?
Meine Mutter ist nicht falsch.
At the risk of disappointing you, we weren't conspiring in our corner, sir. His Eminence was simply telling me that he knew my mother and how much he held her in high esteem.
It so happens that Monsieur de Riche's mother is to join us.
Oh, pity. No scrumptious gossip or juicy tidbits, unmentionable secrets, or even money matters. But you'll see, it will come. Despite all the goodwill in the world, you can't stop people scheming left and right around here.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Well, my friends, do any of you know the reason why we're here this time?
Not in the slightest. As for me, I've been invited by Sir Holm, a close friend of Lord Mortimer, but I do not know the reason why.
You see, Louis, every time Lord Mortimer organises a reception, he always finds a moment to set up a chat with all the guests.
During which time we remake the world.
Accompanied by gallons of absinthe and cussing. I'll leave you to imagine the result.
So, if I understand rightly, Monsieur de Richer, you've come out here to join your mother. For what reason, exactly?
Lord Mortimer asked me to drop everything and come find my mother, who seems to have disappeared during her stay here.
Ah.
I took the first boat, and here I am.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be, sir. It's not your fault.
Mr. President?
Seriously, though, I know your mother well. Stay behind with me afterwards, and we'll take a moment to speak about her.
Good Lord! Washington is wearing the emblem of the Grand Master of the Golden Order. It's the highest distinction of the order in the United States. It puts him on par with my mother. He must really know his stuff when it comes to the occult.
Das war doch das allwissende Auge, allsehende Auge.
Good evening, my friends.
Holy shit! That's the man for my vision.
An urgent case has delayed our host, Lord Mortimer. He can't be present this evening, and he sends his deepest apologies.
He's asked me here and he hasn't even turned up? Great start. Do you know that man?
Sir Gregory Holm, an English aristocrat, very influential. He's also close to Lord Mortimer, so don't be surprised if he acts like he's at home.
And now, my dear guests, a light meal is served in the small salon. For those who would like to, you're invited to follow me into the next room.
My dear fellow, you must have read my thoughts. I shall follow.
We'll have to be careful not to make too much noise. One of Lord Mortimer's guests is relaxing.
Oh, we shall be quiet.
Don't take it the wrong way, Sir Holm, but I have already eaten. Thus, I shall be happy to remain by the fireside.
If you don't mind, Gregory, I should like to keep Mr. Washington company.
Please feel at home. And you, sir?
If I stay with Washington, we'll be able to speak about my mother. But on the other hand, I'd like to learn more about this home. I saw him in my vision.
Erstmal schauen, ob wir... Erstmal schauen, ob wir was rausfinden können.
Let's see what Washington has to say.
Sir, if you don't mind, I shall stay here.
Do exactly as you please, young man.
Louis, thank you for staying. Just like you, when I arrived this morning, I found out that Sarah had gone missing. I know your mother well. Don't worry. Emily is from the English branch of the Golden Order.
And President Washington is in fact the leader of the Order in the United States.
I didn't know.
Sorry to have made you wait, but I didn't want to speak in front of the others.
You did well. Secrecy and discretion are the pillars of our organization.
If I can help in any way at all, please don't hesitate to ask, my lad. And if you have any other questions, now's the time.
And you, Emily, what do you think of my mother?
I only know her through the Order. The one time we met, we only exchanged a few words in a corridor of Parliament.
And was the exchange courteous or impassioned?
I'm not sure if I understand.
Was there any reason for her to be angry with you?
Under other circumstances, I would slap your face for even asking, but I'll put your lack of tact down to her disappearance. Know that your mother is a woman I would love to work with. Her reputation is entirely deserved. Mr. Washington will be able to tell you more.
Mr. Washington, you seem to be very familiar with my mother.
When did you last speak to her?
Philadelphia, 15 years ago.
Wow.
Sarah often went back and forth between France and the United States.
Yes, I remember those days. I didn't see her too often. Right. Would it be too much if I asked you a few more questions?
Not at all. Go ahead. But I can't promise I'll remember everything.
May I ask, when you saw each other, what did you talk about?
Legitim. Ja. Schade.
My mother has always been fascinated by strange powers. Did she talk to you about anything like that?
Yes. Her facility for discerning truths from rumor served me well. Such as preventing massacres, like the one at Salem, from happening again. Or
Salem?
convincing people that horsemen cannot ride around without heads. What was it that she used to say now?
Keep an open and logical mind?
Yes, that's it.
Thank you, sir. I was hoping to speak with Lord Mortimer. At least now I have some information, thanks to you.
I repeat, Lord Mortimer is a man of his word. You won't be disappointed. And I am persuaded that your mother's research is his main concern.
I wonder if Mother is still on the island. Could she not have taken a boat and left?
I don't see how. No vessel can moor closer than 200 yards. Not to mention the permanent presence of staff and servants. There is one strange thing, I grant you. This island is barely the size of Delaware, and despite that, no one has been able to locate your mother.
Also Untergrund.
So my mother still must be on the island.
Ich vertraue ihn mal.
But I did find a book that belongs to my mother.
Where did you find it?
That's what worries me. I found it hidden on the wharf.
Do you think she was preparing to discreetly leave?
I don't know.
An extremely likely proposition.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Don't worry, Louis. I'm sure nothing bad has happened to her.
Sie hatte
Yes,
keine
I
Hand
hope
in der
not.
Version.
Careful, they're coming back.
Wer war das?
Well, I am impressed with all this splendor.
But don't spend too much time with Mr. Washington, my dear, or you'll lose your pretty accent. You seem to be intrigued by that statue.
Absolutely. It is remarkable.
Lord Mortimer is fond of atypical works of art. I won't disguise the fact that I find it all a little megalomaniacal. But I must say, he does have some outstanding pieces.
Yep.
Sir Holm, who was that young lady with you?
Elizabeth Adams, Mr. President. She would have liked to have stayed with us, but the poor thing is exhausted.
Elizabeth Adams?
Sagt mir nix.
Miss Adams is here to rest. You have perhaps already come across her in the corridors. She arrived a few days ago.
I perceived her, but we weren't introduced.
Rest assured, she is not here for the same reasons as yourselves. Consequently, I'm counting on your indulgence.
Washington looks surprised, but Holmes doesn't seem to see it. I wonder if he's being polite or if he really doesn't see his discomfort.
On that note, it's very late. You must be exhausted. The servant will accompany you to your rooms.
Ladies, gentlemen, I bid you all good night. Mr. President, Your Eminence, Duchess, you have the same rooms as usual. You, Monsieur de Richet, will find your room at the end of the corridor.
Okay.
Well, my friends, I am bone tired. I am off to my bed. See you in the morning.
Good night, sir. I shall do likewise.
Louis, I shall see you in the morning. Sleep well.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
Oh man,
Ich
it's
trau
been
ja
quite a
nicht.
day. Right, where is my room?
Sie hat das Buch ziemlich angestarrt. Ich habe in die Richtung geschaut, also werde ich erstmal.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Schau mal, wieder runter darf ich nicht, oder? Yep, darf ich nicht. Okay,
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
Napoleon.
Monsieur Jacques Perru.
Jacques Perru sagt mir nichts.
A few leaves out of an old encyclopedia.
Goldelixier hebt alle negativen Effekte auf, die auf dir lasten. Okay.
The Quorum Guide.
Ach, Etiketten lernen, wahrscheinlich. Echt schick eingerichtet. Hoch darf ich nicht. Da darf ich nicht rein, auch kein Schild vor der Tür.
Monsieur Johann van Wulner.
Johann von Wöllner sagt mir auch nichts. Okay. Muss ich ja bald einmal rum sein.
A Chinese coin.